What's up everybody, Marissa B here today guys. We are back for another video. Now, the previous video has went extremely viral for everyone's opinions, and I respect that totally. I've read every single comment, and I'm not kidding, I've literally read every single one of them. And honestly, I'm actually pretty surprised about everyone's opinions, and I actually do agree a lot of them. Now, for this video, if you guys already saw the disclaimer, I'm actually going to be talking about, probably 7 reasons about Sonar Studios. Now, I'm talking about the actual Sonar Studios games, like Creatures of Sonaria, Dragon Adventures, and Horse Life. I'm only going to mention those 2 because currently those 2 are the most popular games from Sonar Studios. So, I will try to go as quick as I can because this video is pretty long. So, I'm going to start with the easy ones first before getting to the long ones, so you guys get the whole point of the whole situation. Again, I am mentioning 3 games at once, so of course it's going to take a while for this video to start doing everything in this and that, and yeah, it's very long. Anyways, let's get into the first one. Alright, the first one is pay to win. Now, I've actually mentioned this from the previous video, and it's quite wild how Sonar Studios is literally known for being the most greediest from their own games. Sonar Studios is also known to be one of the most greediest out of them all, compared to Preston and Dubik Studios, who, if you guys already know the drama from the past, you guys already know. But if you guys don't, Preston is the one that created the Pet Simulator games, X and 99. One of the most times where he started making it so pay to win to a point where beginners and free-to-play players can't even progress very much. As for Dubik Studios is the ones that, I'm pretty sure they are the ones that bought Fish. They were the ones that buys games and just turns them into pay to win games. So that's one thing. Now, besides that, we're here to be talking about pay to win. Now, Sonar Studios is known to be wanting Robux and money. That's all they ever cared about. So, they start releasing stuff, which is, of course, Robux, merchandise, all of these stuff. Now, I have some commenting saying that it is pretty normal for it to be very pay to win. So, that's pretty normal and everything. But at the same time, there's other problems. There's a difference between abusing it and not abusing it. It's like admin abuse, but it's pay to win instead. Replace admin with pay to win. That's pretty much it. Now, for games like Fish, I will mention Fish beforehand. Now, before, Fish has become a game where it's just a joke. I'm pretty sure there was a rumor talking about teenagers making this game, making it as a joke, and they didn't expect it to be this popular, so they sold the game to a popular community and company that made it pay to win. Now, people with these games, it is expected for games to be pay to win. I say this because if there was a game that was completely free to play, there's nothing really much to do, because when you're free to play, there's nothing really to progress anytime soon. Sorry, I'm always holding at my breath. Now, back to this. People have Robux, and they want to spend their Robux on something from the game. If they enjoy the game, they want to spend their Robux in it. But without Robux, people can't pay it, which causes the game to either fluctuate, which decreases, or, well, I don't know what fluctuate means. I don't know. I have not learned from the past. What am I talking about? Let's get back to this. And yeah, I'm stuttering. My god, what am I doing today? Alright, what I was about to say is that it is expected for a game to be pay to win, but there is a difference between games that isn't pay to win that is just usually normal, where they add a little bit of pay to win stuff and you just use Robux and this and that, and that's pretty normal. It's like other games, like tycoon games, they have like Robux for a reason. In order for you to like progress, and if they like that game, they want to add Robux into it. But there's a difference with that comparing to Sonar Studios with their greediness. Comparing to that, Creatures of Sonaria has released a lot of things before Dragon Adventures and Horse Life even caught on to this. Whatever Creatures of Sonaria developers, testers, moderators, any type of person does, Dragon Adventures and Horse Life copies. It's like whatever creatures, like it's like monkey see, monkey do. You know that, right? Whatever monkey sees this, the other monkeys do that. Now, it's like Creatures of Sonaria. Whatever they do something, the rest of the games are going to do the same thing. That's why they're copying each other. Whenever Creatures of Sonaria does something, Dragon Adventures and Horse Life does the same thing. So, Creatures of Sonaria released merchandise. I will actually use this as an example. They released merchandise first, and despite this, Dragon Adventures caught on to that and decided to add their own merch too. When Horse Life was released, they instantly added merchandise too, because that's real life money. You have to pay, in order for you to pay their merchandise, you have to pay real life money. It's not Robux, real life money for the merchandise. Now the problem is that with the merchandise, there's downsides. Creatures of Sonaria, I don't know Horse Life if they have any rewards with the merchandise, but I will say Creatures of Sonaria and Dragon Adventures have rewards. Now, if you buy a specific merchandise, you get rewards from it. Let's just say for Dragon Adventures, you want to buy, I'm pretty sure it is the Stellaris hoodie. I'm pretty sure. If you buy the Stellaris hoodie, you will get a reward in it. In the game, when you join in the game, you will actually get a trait potion called the Astrolic Trait Potion. One of the most expensive trait potions that I still can't believe is so expensive. All because you're paying real life money for something that you guys already know. Creatures of Sonaria is doing the same thing. Any type of merchandise you get, you will get a reward from the game. And people are starting to get into that and start buying their merchandise. But at the same time, when they keep buying it over and over and over again, it starts to get to a point where all the merchandise is all over the place, where they have like 20 Stellaris hoodies. They don't know what to do with it. So if people actually do that, I'm very curious, what do they even do with the hoodies? What do they do with the merchandise that they buy with that much that's been going on? But yeah, pay to win has gotten something like merchandise, and for Creatures of Sonaria, they've done the same thing. Whatever Creatures of Sonaria does pay to win stuff, Dragon Adventures and Horse Life catches on to it and copies it. Like copy paste, like I mentioned from the previous video. Creatures of Sonaria released developer creatures. Dragon Adventures is doing the same thing, but with developer dragons. Horse Life didn't catch on to it. They didn't add developer stuff in it. But maybe in the future they're gonna catch on to it and it's gonna copy paste. If that actually does happen, where developers start adding their own developer horses, oh boy, I'm gonna be the problem that caused it. I hope they actually don't do that, because if they do, that's just gonna cause the game to actually die down real fast. But yeah, despite pay to win, it's not just real life money, but they literally just copy each other, and it's not even fun, because every time when they do something, like whatever Creatures of Sonaria does something, Dragon Adventures and Horse Life does the same thing. It's not new, it's the same thing. Like, the developers in their own minds can't think of a good idea, so they just copy paste Creatures of Sonaria's updates and just paste it in their games from Dragon Adventures or Horse Life. Literally just that. And yeah, that's pay to win stuff. That is my opinion. You guys can have your own opinions. But yeah, that is all for just number 1. Let's get to number 2. Ah yes, grinding fatigue, one of the most obvious things that people have caught on to. Not just pay to win, but grinding is one of the things that people don't like the most. Now, as mentioned, Creatures of Sonaria, Drag Adventures, Horse Life, they have their own things. They start creating their own problems, and it starts to become a habit where people start noticing the patterns of Sonar Studios' own games. Not just pay to win. Every time Creatures of Sonaria does something, Drag Adventures and Horse Life does the same thing. It's the same thing with grinding fatigue. Whenever Creatures of Sonaria does something, Drag Adventures and Horse Life does the same thing, but in their own perspectives this time. Drag Adventures, like I mentioned from the previous video, is revamping their season stuff, where they're going to be adding 2 pay-to-win premium passes, which is Dragoneer and Dracon's pass, and 1 being free-to-play, which is completely normal, unless you can't get the other dragons that is there. But also, people are pretty ticked off about this, because this causes more grinding. I've mentioned this before, I'm gonna say it again. I feel bad for most of the pay-to-win people, because they have an extra 100 tiers if they do buy the Dracon's pass alongside with the Dragoneers, because Dragoneers is already 50. Another 50 for Drakon, which is pretty wild. But also, I've actually seen this comment, and I'm actually very surprised. Someone actually calculated how much Robux you need to pay for those 2 passes. Now, there's this thing from the season pass called called skip tier, where you pay Robux in order for you to skip a tier. So that way you don't have to do all those missions, and you can just skip the whole thing and get to the next tier. Like, for example, there's a potion that you want to use Robux, and you spend it, you get the potion, and then that's just it. This person calculated this much, and I already forgotten how much. I will show you guys the comment. I don't know if this is guaranteed, but if it is, wow, crazy. That is wild. You have to pay that much for the season passes. Now, if it's really that much just to pay for all of this, then, well, if they do actually keep the revamp for the season passes, I'm not saying if, they are going to keep it, because they're greedy. You guys already know that. It's going to be twice as much than it is supposed to be from before. It's like the Forever Pack, if you guys know that from Pet Simulator 99. They did that. It's kind of similar to that, but it actually has an ending, which is not exciting at all. And, yeah, not really happy about that. Another thing that Drag Adventures, Creatures of Sonaria, and Horse Life have is that they have their event problems. Now, Creatures of Sonaria and Horse Life have the same thing, but Drag Adventures is quite different. I'm actually going to give Drag Adventures first as an example. Halloween came out 2025, alright? Corrigan, Nightmare Paradox, Willow, whatever that dragon's called. I know it's pretty sure called Willow or something like that. In order for you to get a air cosmetic of any of the 3 dragons I mentioned, you have to go to the spin wheel and spin candies on it. That's all you do. That causes a lot of grinding, and you know the percentage for that? If I remember correctly, it's a 0.00487 chance to get that. It'd be pretty wild if I actually got that correct, because I have selective amnesia. But yeah, that's a really bad percentage just to get 1 air cosmetic. Now, a lot of people didn't, but it's also because a lot of people grinded for it. And when it comes to grinding, people get burnt out. And I've seen a lot of comments talking about it. People talking about how much they got burnt out, and one person even mentioned how they got so burnt out that it caused them a lot of mental problems, mentally and physically, so they did quit the game. Well, other games, I don't remember if it's actually Drag Adventures or Creatures of Sonaria, but they said that when they quit the game, they're actually so happy that they literally quit the game, because now it's at this point where they didn't change at all, and it's true. Drag Adventures, Creatures of Sonaria, Horse Life, they didn't change a bit. They never will. Even if you guys want it to be changed, it's not gonna happen. Sadly. Yeah. Creatures of Sonaria, Drag Adventures, and Horse Life have problems with their grinding stuff. Oh yeah, I already got Drag Adventures done for their grinding methods for events, but for Creatures of Sonaria and Horse Life, it's pretty different. Creatures of Sonaria, I don't know if they still do this. They have a point currency. Whenever the amount of points you do, given to the missions that you have to do, for example, you have to drink the amount of water, and you get 1 point for that. In order for you to get the amount of points for the reward, let's just say the reward is 10, you need to get 10 points and do like whatever the amount of missions you have to do just to get that. Creatures of Sonaria, if you guys do play that game, comment down below if they actually do still do the point currency, because I haven't checked. But like I said before, whatever Creatures of Sonaria does, other games do the same thing in their own games, which is Sonar Studios. Horse Life caught on to it. Apparently, when Ghost Deeds came out, they didn't have the point currency during that point. This whole time, all you gotta do is just do missions, and you get the reward. That is it. No point currency, no this, no that, none of it. But as time passes on, they started catching on that Creatures of Sonaria has a point currency. So they're like, developers were over here like, what if we added that to Horse Life? And they did. Some of the missions in some of the events that I don't really remember were actually pretty good, pretty decent. But the rest of them weren't, like the Christmas update from last year, 2025. Horse Life's Christmas event was not the best, because when they released the Christmas update for the first week, I've made a live stream. I'm gonna have to find it and put it on here so you guys can see it. But apparently when I started out with the first week, the point missions was very depressing. They added more point missions during that point, but I didn't care. I wasn't gonna get burnt out from that. Oh my god, hiccup. I was gonna get burnt out from that. And yeah, that's the events for grinding. Creatures of Sonaria, I would say, is the worst. Drag Adventures is the second. As for Horse Life, it is 2 years old, so it's not really that bad to grind in Horse Life. And it's a 50-50, it can and cannot. But yeah, that is all for the grinding one. Let's get to the next one. Oh boy, toxic community. This is one thing that I specifically hate the most out of everything. Out of pay to win and grinding fatigue, I hate toxic communities. Now, Sonar Studios, we already know that they're known for being super greedy and wanting their player base to be staying the same length, like 1,000 people to play this game. If it's not 1,000 people, they're gonna stop updating the games and move on. Now, for this, Creatures of Sonaria and Drag Adventures, I'm not gonna include Horse Life. I think Horse Life is pretty decent, but this is pretty much Discord-wise. I would say this straight. People who do not have Discord, well, be glad you don't, because, oh boy, the toxic communities there are bad. But let's just get into it. Creatures of Sonaria and Drag Adventures are not known for just pay to win and grinding fatigue, but they're also known for having their worst communities. Now, Creatures of Sonaria being the first, we all know Creatures of Sonaria is always the first when it comes to something negative. But Creatures of Sonaria has many ways of causing a community to be super bad. Like PvPing, KOSing. People don't like to PvP. A lot of people like to roleplay. But when they kept getting KOS'd a lot, that causes the person to get mad, and it causes the community to become upset. Calling people out, backstabbing them, losing friends. Well, I would say this straight. I don't recommend using Creatures of Sonar as a friendly game, I would say. But also, it's not just the actual game itself, it's also the trade realm. This is also where another theme. People got upset about the toxic community. Trade realms. There's a lot of things that happens with Creatures of Sonar. They have mutations, they have traits, they have a lot of expensive creatures, including role creatures like content creators, moderators, testers, developers. They have their own role creatures. And apparently they are twice as much than it is to the original creatures that should be. The more the creature is much more loved, the more expensive it gets, and the more people are gonna start getting mad because it's so expensive. The problem is that a lot of people can get mad for this reason, and I can actually understand this very well, very loud and clearly. Like Mijusum, I actually call it that. I actually call it Mijitsu or something like that, which is like an anime, but I'm now calling it Mijusum. If you guys know what I mean, it's that creature. I'm actually going to show you guys the photo of it. People started complaining how it's not a good PvP creature, and people started questioning, why is this creature so expensive when it's not even good for PvPing? The only times it would be good for is usually like roleplay or just showing off, flexing, or collecting. That's the only thing that's good for. And yeah, I actually get it. A lot of creatures that can be expensive aren't really good for KOSing. And if you're really good at being a pro with the creatures that you have, like the Mijusum, it can be a good KOSing creature. But for others, people started complaining how most of the creatures are really expensive for unknown reason. Either the design is beautiful or, again, unknown reason. It can be multiple reasons. Drag Adventures, it is the same thing, but in a different manner. Drag Adventures, people start to complain about the grinding, which can cause a lot of toxic communities towards the developers. But at the same time is, again, trade realms. Drag Adventures has traits, they have mutations, they have legendary colors, eyes, all of these crazy stuff that Drag Adventures has. Whenever a dragon is good, people start buying that dragon, but also it's because of overpriced things. Similar with the Mijusum and other role creatures from Creatures of Sonar. People will overprice anything for a creature or a dragon. Diomores, for great example. The last time when I started playing Drag Adventures, which was months ago, I saw an Diomores going for 100 million plus. Yeah, it wasn't even a good Diomores too, because it had really bad generations. Like, it was like in the hundreds. I don't remember. I know it's in the hundreds. It's not even Gen 1. It's just, yeah. A lot of toxic communities, I can actually understand. People will get toxic for their own reasons. KOSing, Creatures of Sonar, trade realms, both of those games have the same theme. A lot of people can be toxic for multiple things, but if you encounter other things like trolls and rage baiters, I thought I said rage quitters. Whoops. Rage baiters is what I meant. Trolls or rage baiters, that's a different story, because then they're just doing it for the fun of it, making people get mad, ticked off, or rage quit the game entirely, making it annoying to start doing stuff. That's mostly on the Creatures of Sonar hand. I don't know about Drag Adventures. It's a 50-50. I don't know. Again, I haven't played Drag Adventures in a while, so you guys can comment down below for that. And yeah, let's just get to the next one. Alright, the next one is kind of upsetting and a little sad, is disappearance from other people. Now, Sonar Studios can have negative, positive things, but people have their opinions, and they have their reasons why they disappear, why they're gone, why they're not playing these games anymore. I've seen comments from my previous video a lot of people started talking about quitting Drag Adventures. A lot of people talking about Creatures of Sonaria, they quitted that game too. Some people started talking about how they wanted to quit Horse Life. Some of them even started saying like, oh, I quit Horse Life because of their reason. It's kind of upsetting how we can't even love our own favorite games like Creatures of Sonaria, Horse Life, Drag Adventures. We all love those games a lot, and it brings a lot of memories, especially for the two games that are like old, like Creatures of Sonaria being the first, Drag Adventures being second, and Horse Life being third. And it's like, it hurts to quit a game that you once loved, and now that you view it, it's like it changed and it flashed before your own eyes. A lot of people out there started disappearing, quitting the game entirely because of their reasons. Creatures of Sonaria, people can quit because of KOSing. People can quit because of pay to win. People can quit because developers, moderation, testers, people have their reasons to quit. And most of the time, people can start to disappear, leaving the game entirely. Drag Adventures, people can start quitting the game because of inflations, overpriced dragons. They have the reasons of like Vidreki. A lot of OG players who have Vidreki, or even players that bought Vidreki for a lot, started to realize that Vidreki is going to come back, meaning that they're quitting because of that. That rhymed. Anyways, back to the point. People can have their reasons of quitting the game, and it's devastating how we once loved a game that was so beautiful and nostalgic, and now our own favorite games started to turn into something that's just a cash grab. Something that's so grindy to a point where people started burning out. Sonar Studios doesn't know that us humans have a life outside of these games. We have like school, we have jobs, we have family and friends, we have things outside of the games. And the fact that they have pay to win stuff, grinding stuff, toxic communities, all of these stuff, it causes a person to get overwhelmed and they start disappearing. My favorite content creator when I was young, if you guys didn't check the previous video, the first thing that popped up was Fluffy TSG. He was my favorite content creator when he started making content about Drag Adventures. But as time flies by, I haven't watched him in a while because I've been doing my own thing. Now that I come to realize, he stopped playing Drag Adventures for unknown reason. I don't know why he quit. I don't know why he disappeared. But he was gone, and he moved on to go with Creatures of Sonaria and started talking about his own thing. And it's like, we have a lot of people who love these games a lot, but then those games start to cause more problems, and it could cause people to just step back and leave and not return. And yeah, kind of upsetting. But also, the one thing that I'm also gonna talk about is the last thing, and it's gonna be the one thing that is gonna be mentioned on this one. Let's get to it. Oh boy, now we get to the last one that I'm just gonna talk about. I have other reasons to talk about, but they're more long. So if you guys want a part 2, you guys can ask in the comment section, but this one is a lot more devastating than it seems. But the last one is, why does no one quit the game? You guys have noticed that some of you guys want the game to, well, the games like Creatures of Sonaria, Horse Life, all of Sonar Studios, like bigger games, they want those games to just die and just like discontinue. But the problem is like Creatures of Sonaria, they have like 20,000 plus people playing the game. Yeah, I said Creatures of Sonaria, right? Yeah, Creatures of Sonaria having 20,000 people. Drag Adventures having like 10,000 plus people. Horse Life still holding on tight, has like 2,000 plus people. But sometimes I start questioning myself that every time when someone talks bad about Creatures of Sonaria, Drag Adventures, usually not Horse Life, but those two games, I always look at the games in Roblox, and it's like nothing changed. But the real reason that I can see this is that people don't want to quit. In my comment section, a lot of you guys have been talking about quitting the game on Drag Adventures. Some of you mentioned about Creatures of Sonaria that you guys quit a long time ago from Creatures of Sonaria, even Horse Life. But I always question to myself, a lot of people started quitting, but why are these games still popular? And the reason why is because a lot of people don't want to quit because of no reason. Like, I know a lot of people don't have a reason to not quit the game, but there's another reason that is a bit sad to mention. Now, a lot of the people don't want to quit the game, like Creatures of Sonaria, Drag Adventures. They don't want to quit those games because it's too hard to do that. Like, Creatures of Sonaria is the first game to be old, Drag Adventures being second. It's hard for people like me, beta people, alpha people, OG people. They don't want to quit the games because they saw too much nostalgia into those games to the point where if they quit the game, what is it to play anymore? Without Drag Adventures, without Creatures of Sonaria, what are we gonna do? What's the next step that we're supposed to do? We can't just let this go because it's a game that caused everyone to be together, to make friends, to enjoy the game. And the fact that Sonar Studios still continues to be greedy and everything else that's so negative, people still play this game. There could be other reasons like new players. That makes total sense. New players want to play this game. They want to know why it's so popular. But other people out there, like original people who play Creatures of Sonaria or Drag Adventures for like maybe months or like maybe a year or so, they don't want to quit because it's their life. But like I mentioned from the video, Sonar Studios treats their games like jobs. It's like you're working in there when you didn't even apply it. You didn't even apply that. You didn't even want to make it a job, but guess what? You still do it. And it's just sad how a lot of the people out there don't want to quit. Because if they do, they're going to lose the most loved game that it was from the past. From the past, Creatures of Sonaria was just normal. Like, you have Kendall, that was like the apex predator over there. We got Jonunhel. I still can't pronounce it, but you guys already know. I'm gonna call it a Jot, which is J-O-T. Yeah, it's also the apex predator for flyers. Kendilly, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure people call it that. I call it Kendall, but Kendall, it became the apex predator for land, and Urachu being the apex predator for water, land, sea, sky. It was the only creatures in Creatures of Sonaria that was literally just the only apex predators that you only had to focus on. And it's just fine, because all of the creatures out there don't have problems with like other things. Like you get ankle biters here and there, but everything from Creatures of Sonaria back then was just fine. Everything was normal. Everyone was having a great time. Until things started to go downhill. And now people just started KOSing. And any type of creature instead of just enjoying it. And it's like, every time when you play your favorite creature, other people play your favorite creature at the same time. And it's like, you don't want to play that creature anymore because people play it and they're so good at PvPing and KOSing and everything. It's the same thing with Drag Adventures. People have nostalgia on Drag Adventures. Like, Leisure was right there. And we got PvP maps, like Jungle had PvP maps. I even remembered Wasteland having PvP maps. The only time that I only reached in Drag Adventures was just Wasteland. And that was it. I could not reach Prehistoric until years back. But you had PvP maps. You even have, like, eggs where people can steal it. I know that's a rage bait, but it was the good kind of rage bait. You rage bait your friends, steal eggs, and have a great time. Yeah, it was annoying to steal eggs here and there and not share, which totally makes sense, but that's just part of the game. Stealing was fun. The eggs, all of these nests, they spawn wherever they go. They don't spawn in the same spot. They spawn wherever they can go, and that was fun because it's like a scavenger hunt. You're trying to find something that you've been wanting to find. Collecting dragons was also another thing because there wasn't a lot of dragons back then. You also got OG dragons, like Solar Rising being so expensive that no one could even get it. You got Arenga, you got Disuvia. What else? We got Pharaohs. Even Pharaohs were even like so expensive. And everything, all of these dragons that came from events, they were like really expensive. And it's like, as time flies by, it's not anymore. Solar Rising being not even close to 100,000 unless you get it to like good traits or have a better trait potion or something like that. But besides that, some people don't want to quit the game because if they do, they're going to lose their progress. And at the same time, they don't want to lose that. They don't want to forget about a game that they loved for so long. And it hurts because, like, your favorite game is being demolished by greedy developers who don't care about their player base. All they care about is for their players and their people to keep playing their game, and that's it. Nothing else. They just want money. They want Robux. That's all they want. But for us, we see this game as something that was just, it's not something that's always negative. It brought people back to life. Drag Adventures, great example. There was this thing where in Leisure you couldn't see the boards because, well, whenever you keep bringing up your dragons, it starts blocking up the boards. So they get it to where if you try to use your dragon to go to the boards, your dragon just unequips. So people started making a whole line to bring us together, like Arengas. I was in one of those lines where you just line up with your Arengas and you just show off and flex and everything. It was fun. You even made great friends with just these dragons. And back then with like Solar Risings, a lot of people with Solar Risings would just stay like in the very back where the PvP was at. Volcamosas, when they first came out, a lot of people loved them. I loved them too. I still love them to this moment. And it's like, every time when you feel like you want to quit the game, it doesn't feel the same to quit. Because if you do quit, what is there to do? There's no other game that can beat that game. There's nothing that can beat Creatures of Sonaria. There's nothing that can beat Drag Adventures. Even Horse Life. There's nothing to beat Horse Life unless you have other horse games that is better than Horse Life. That's why the player bases, they didn't drop. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's because at some cases, sometimes people do want to quit. But at the same time, quitting just means like they're losing something that they loved for so long, and they just don't want to let go. And I can see that. I still haven't let go of Drag Adventures. I keep telling my viewers, I kept telling you guys that I wanted to quit Drag Adventures for good. And I wanted to, but it just doesn't feel the same. Because when I did quit from playing Drag Adventures for maybe 2 months now, I've been so lost. I've been trying to find games that interest me, probably you guys too. But it's like, I've been playing the same games over and over and over again, and it's not entertaining anymore. And it's like, even quitting once for even like a month or so or more, it's like, it doesn't feel like you moved on. It's like a relapse. You're relapsing something that was once a loved and beloved game till it became something so pure hatred, like Creatures of Sonaria. And I know a lot of you guys started quitting and didn't regret it at times like this. Some of you didn't regret, some of you don't want to like quit. But yeah, I know this is a long video. Again, sorry about the long video, but this is pretty much all the reasons that I could give that resembles Sonar Studios. And yeah, I will agree, a lot of the negativity from Sonar Studios is bad. Really bad. But at the same time, do we want to lose something that we once loved? Sometimes we wish that Sonar Studios cared for once. That cared for their people. That cared for the community. And it's like, they don't. And it's upsetting. It really does. And it's just something to not laugh about. Because it's like, you don't know what to do anymore. You want to quit, but you also don't want to lose your progress. So you play the game. But when you play the game, it doesn't feel the same anymore. It doesn't. It just feels like you're playing a game that doesn't exist. Like, I don't know. Sonar Studios, if any of the developers, moderators, testers, anyone sees this video, please do better and make the game more good. That's all we're asking. A lot of us players, betas, alphas, OGs, we don't ask for much. All we simply ask is for a community and a game to be lively again, like it was from the past. There wasn't much KOSing from Creatures of Sonaria. There wasn't much grinding from Drag Adventures. It was like life came back to light for once. And then as time passes, everything just went dull. And it's upsetting. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, I am sorry that this video is long. I didn't want it to make it long, trust me. I didn't want it to be this long to a point where it's close to an hour, but it is what it is. If you guys do want to hear a part 2, I did have other suggestions. Well, not suggestions, I did have like other reasons of the game, but it was a little too complicated. So if you guys want me to do part 2, I can. I don't mind that. And yeah, that's all for today's video. And hope you guys enjoy it. At least understand why Sonar Studios has gotten to a point where it's, well, not the greatest. And yeah, that's all. And I'll see you guys later. See ya and peace.